honestly can't quite believe that I'm making another video like this on this channel. Like, it all feels terribly repetitive, but sadly this is another video where I have to tell you guys that a really beautiful, lovely, young, talented horse is never going to be ridden again. So I wouldn't even say I've put this video off actually. This has been obviously a long ongoing process. It is about darling Wilma, who is there grazing behind me. And the reason it's taken me so long, I know you guys have been asking so much for updates, but it is because we have been waiting and really patiently hoping that we weren't gonna get to this outcome. So obviously, you know, horses they need the time for their bodies to try and heal and try and get right. So that is why it has been 5 months since that fateful day that she had her accident to get to this point where I'm sadly having to make this video. Quick ad break to talk about hair. Now, just before I get going, you might be thinking, wow Meg, the house renovations are looking fantastic. I'm actually in a hotel bathroom because I'm about to jet off to Greece for my friend's wedding, and there is one thing that is absolutely coming with me, and that is my hair and me. So you may recognize this branding, and that is because they're actually the sister company to Skin & Me, who I already use, already know, already fully trust. Between you and me guys, over the last like 3-4 months, I've been having that kind of heart-dropping moment in the shower where you just suddenly notice that more hair is coming out, like you're declogging your drains a little bit more often. For the first time this year, I actually got sunburn on my scalp in England, which has never happened before. And I've noticed more hair like in my hairbrush. So all of these things kind of made me realize that I'm losing a little bit more hair than I normally would. Now, I don't know if this is stress related, diet related, if it's just because I'm getting a little bit older and maybe my hair is starting to fall out a little bit more. But between you and me, it did kind of panic me. So I was really keen to give Hair and Me a go because this is designed specifically for me. So I have got the little droplets, the serum that goes in, but there also is capsules that you can take as well. Depending on what your hair goals are, their team of experts will be able to help you out. Do a little online consultation, all very easy. You can tell them all about your hair, your medical history, and then they will provide the perfect formula just for you. So it's very easy to apply. You do it daily. You kind of just put it in your affected areas. Now I'm having to use the camera there to just make sure I'm getting it in the right spot. I just clip my hair up because I've noticed it's like, see these bits here? There are definitely baby hairs. I mean, maybe those are baby hairs coming since I've been using this. But I just want to try and target those little bits as well so that when I wear my hair up, I'm not having like little gaps there. So this is gonna really help with hair regrowth. You should start to notice visible results, so I'm having to concentrate, within 3 to 6 months. I know hair is one of those things that like, it's just very easy to get very self-conscious over. So when I noticed a little bit more hair coming out, I just wanted to sort of react quickly. It also smells absolutely incredible, to the extent that even Pete has been like, are you using a new shampoo? No, it's just this. So if you guys fancy giving it a go, I've got a very good offer for you. So you can actually get your first month's worth of treatment for $4.99. That's down from £30. And in order to do so, you can use my code ELPHICKHAIR. I'll leave a link down below so it's super easy for you guys to find. Big thank you to Hair and Me for sponsoring this video. Just to fill you guys in a little bit on what's happened, I know a lot of you will probably know, a lot of you watching this will be invested in Wilma and her story, but she had a pretty serious show jumping fall with lovely Simey riding her back in April. So it was like middle of April. She was at a show and she just, we don't really know why, but She sort of misread the upright and then ended up getting a pole between her legs, which meant she couldn't get her feet down, and she took a really, really crashing, horrible fall where her neck was completely bent the wrong way. She had a very serious impaction on her chest. That's where she got that great big hematoma, and just all in all was really not nice at all. Thank goodness Simon was thrown clear, and other than being sort of quite bashed and bruised, he walked away all right. But that was the beginning of the end for poor Wilma. So straight after the fall, we obviously had all of that issue with this big hematoma that formed on her chest. So that was kind of our main focus at that point. She had all of this swelling around her neck as well, but the hematoma was kind of the thing that we were all drawn to, because that had the most immediate risk, because that was the thing that could get infected. And that was also, you know, we needed to find out why it was there. Had she fractured her sternum? Did she have a really bad muscle tear? So that was kind of our first port of investigation. So she went off to hospital. We had a bone scan done with her. This was, as you guys will know, this was like weeks and weeks down the line. We had to wait for the hematoma to settle a little bit. We drained it, it filled straight back up. So that was when we realised there was definitely like a very severe tear. Went off and she had the bone scan, and that brought back a number of hot spots. I thought she was going over to see me then. So yeah, basically the bone scan is a bit weird. Obviously I need to preface this whole video by saying, A, I'm definitely not a vet, so I'm probably gonna explain this a little bit wrong. B, it's been quite an emotional, taxing day, so I feel like this might not be the best time to actually do this video, but while it's all fresh in my mind, I kind of wanted to just come on here and actually have a bit more of an open chat with you guys. So yeah, the bone scan, they inject them with like a radioactive substance, and then that will go all around their body, and it will basically be able to flag up hot spots of like pain and injury, essentially. So it won't tell you what they are, but it will tell you where they're sore and where they've hurt themselves. So she had a hot spot on her chest, although with the bone scan we did manage to rule out that she had fractured her sternum. So that was the biggest relief ever, because if she'd fractured her sternum, that was probably, she wasn't going to come back in any shape or form from that. So that was a massive relief. So she had the hot spot on her chest, obviously. She had the hot spot on her sort of like hip, and then her neck and her shoulder. So it followed the pattern of the fall, basically, where she'd had all of that impact from hitting the ground. So from the bone scan, we then, the next best thing was to give her a bit of time. So she's had it's been 5 months since the incident, but probably 4 months, 3.5 months since the bone scan perhaps. So she did all of her box rest with her hematoma, and then she has just been having the best time out in the field. She's got this like great big space to move around in, and she comes in every day. So we just wanted to give her that time to rest, but also not to be completely sedentary to the point that she would like seize up. So she's got like I said, great big field. She's got these lovely sort of slopes and everything, so at least she was still keeping her body active. And it was basically a big wait to get to today, where we were going to do the lameness workup. So that brings us on to our vet visit today, which I've kind of been dreading, but also I guess kind of been looking forward to, because I'm not gonna lie guys, it's been really, really difficult having so many questions about Wilma, because I just don't have the answers to them, and like all I want is to know what's wrong with her and what her future looks like. And it's actually been really, really tricky, and I know it all comes from a place of love, and because you guys want what I want. You want to know how she is and what she's going to be able to do. But it's been a constant kind of, I don't know, like a constant stress really just in the background. So I've kind of been counting down the days to the point where she'd had enough time that if stuff was going to get better, that it would have to get us to the point of this lameness workup. So we took her over to our wonderful vets because they've got all the facilities there. They've got like great trot up facilities, and we can lunge her in the arena, we can lunge her in the hard and the soft, and obviously then we can do any scans and x-rays and things from there. So frustratingly, it's not been a massively conclusive day in terms of what she's done exactly. Well, we know what she's done, but you know why she is the way that she is. But it has given us it's ended the riding chapter for us, which is horrible to say, but also I do just feel like now I've got this little bit of closure, and at least I can stop that hoping that she's going to come back, because really that's the most painful and torturous part. Sorry, I think I've got a spider on my face or something. It's the constant what ifs, isn't it? And it's like, oh, like, would I be planning an event season for her next year? So essentially we went today and we put there's this really cool like sensory machine that you can put on the horse. So it goes on their head, on their leg, and then right on their bum in the center. And it basically picks up lameness, which is amazing. It can pick up lameness that you can't see, and it'll be able to tell anywhere where she's unsymmetrical. So she had that on. We did all of the, walking up and down, trotting up and down, and immediately we could see that her right fore was off, and she was also moving her left hind very sort of mechanically, like she was stepping it out and then stepping it in. It was making her move very close behind. We popped her on the lunge, on the soft surface, to see what she was like there. We took her like up and down a ramp, which was very interesting, very telling. And then we did her on the lunge again, where it was half on the hard and half on the soft. And that especially was where we could see quite a lot of discomfort, that she just definitely wasn't right. So we then went inside and we took x-rays of her neck, because obviously she had, in the fall, her neck was really bashed up and bent the wrong way. And we also finally managed to scan her chest where she'd had the hematoma. So from all of that, we have essentially concluded firstly that she is still unsound. So immediately, that's not ideal, but that is, an unsound horse isn't always an unsound horse. So that wasn't it's not brilliant, but that wasn't the scariest part. What we also found from scanning the chest is she has got a great big hole in her muscle underneath, I assume from the front leg stretching to try and get down, bless her, to try and stop herself from falling. And she's also above sort of where the hematoma was. She's got a muscle tear there, and the muscle just, it hasn't healed brilliantly. It goes very, very deep, and you can just see from the scan, it's I bet I kind of described it as a steak. You can just see all this weird marbling almost, and it goes really deep, and it's not supposed to be there. It's very gristly and not ideal, and you can feel all of the scar tissue. So it hasn't healed brilliantly, but obviously from the amount she bled with that hematoma, we knew that there was going to be quite significant damage here. So the main concern after all of that is something that has been going on since the fall, that we've been dealing with around the yard, and that is the fact that she has been pretty unsturdy on her feet. So we've had a few very scary incidents where Mum or I have been leading her, and she's actually lost her footing and she's fallen over. So we told all of this to our vet, and so we did some proprioception tests, which basically to see if she knows exactly where her foot placement is. And that was also really handy when I said about doing the walking up and down the ramp. That was another thing that could sort of tell us how, just basically if she's slightly neurological, how well does she know where she's putting down her feet. So she wasn't brilliant on the proprioception tests when we did the one where you sort of pull their tail to the side as they walk. They're meant to really like try and correct themselves and pull against you, and doing it on the left side she does, doing it on the right side where she had the fall she really doesn't, which isn't ideal. Going up and down the ramp, she like happily goes up. The first time she came down she was tentative, then she went up again and she got to come down and she was like, oh, I'm not sure, and like sort of stopped halfway and needed quite a lot of help and reassurance to get down. The third time she just refused to go down the ramp and really didn't want to. So again, it's all kind of pointing us towards the fact that she isn't confident in herself, kind of negotiating different terrain, and like she doesn't really know exactly where she's always putting her feet down. She also, when we had her on the like hard and soft surface, had a couple of like just little trippy moments where you think like, ooh, like why is that happening? Like, why did you trip then? So essentially what we can derive from all of this is that she's intermittently ataxing. So intermittently she's just gonna have these moments where she doesn't put her feet down right, like, or she treads on herself, or worse comes to worse, she has these moments where she full on falls and goes down, which we have witnessed, and they are really, really frightening. And we've all collectively come to the conclusion that she simply isn't safe enough for a person to ride her again, because the intermittentness almost makes it worse, because there's just absolutely no way of telling when she might have a little moment where she's going to lose her footing and she's going to go down. And obviously I would love to ride her again. I'd love to have, like, she's bought to be this lovely competition horse and she was going so well, but it simply isn't worth the risk for her to go down with someone on top. Like, goodness knows what she could do to herself, but also it wouldn't be good to have a rider on board. So sadly that does bring me to have to say out loud that Wilma will never ever be ridden again. That is her ridden career completely over, which is really rubbish to say, and I'm determined to get through this without getting emotional, because to be honest, we came to terms with this quite a while ago. When she had her falls here, when we were leading in hand, both Mum and I agreed that she wasn't going to be safe enough for someone to ride again. So today was actually really good, because we went in both kind of thinking this, and it was really reassuring to get the opinion of a vet and then to also think the exact same thing. It lets us know that we're doing the right thing, and it's definitely the right path for Wilma and for me. To be honest, it would just be too dangerous to risk getting back on her. And it's kind of like it's really tricky, because with the lameness as well, like, there's no way that I could actually rehab her to see if that would improve, because even doing the rehabbing is a risk if she's not able to sort of keep herself upright, even on the ground. It's not ideal. So she's perfectly happy in the field, and Mum and I know her very well, and we can be really vigilant with leading her in and out. But the last thing I'd want to do is strap a load of, like, put a bridle on her, put a roller on her, and put 2 long reins on her, and then you've just got all of this kit, and if she was to go down with all of that on and get tangled, doesn't bear thinking about. So that is the update with Wilma. She sadly is, she's not gonna do any eventing, not gonna do anything, but we are hoping that, she's very, very happy in the field. She's having a lovely time. She's got a buddy. Like, she seems to be leading a really lovely life. We also got the vet to give her a little bit of a once over and to determine whether she would be safe, happy, comfortable. to be able to breed from, and to make sure that he was happy that like nothing's hereditary. Obviously we know why Wilma's got to this point, because she had that fall. Like we've got it all, we've seen it on camera, all of the injuries add up to how she fell. So we have had the sign off from the vet that he'd be perfectly happy for her to be able to carry a foal, and that there shouldn't be any issues with that, and that if we can manage her really well, then we should hopefully be able to sort of prohibit her having any disastrous falls or anything like that. So the plan going forward is Wilma is just going to have a really nice chill time. We're going to watch her really closely, and we're going to make sure that she is kind of happy, comfortable in the field. And then should we get to next year and we're all happy, hunky-dory, and the vets are happy for her to go and foal, then I think that will be the plan. We'll have a foal out of her, and yeah, Wilma's legacy will live on. It's obviously really not what I was hoping for when I kind of started this whole journey of buying Wilma and going to Ireland. I really did have such high hopes for her, and she was going so well, and yeah, this season was meant to look completely different, but you know, it's horses for you, and unfortunately sometimes one little tiny mistake, hello darling, yeah, can be really disastrous. But how lucky are we that we are in a position that A, she's still with us, hey Poppet, and B, you know, we've got all this lovely space that she can just live a happy little life. And yeah, who knows, hopefully next year we'll be able to be picking stallions for her, and yeah, we'll have a really exciting foal. You know, Wilma has got beautiful breeding, she moves stunningly, she's got a lovely jump, she's got a really lovely attitude, so she does have all of the right attributes to be a great mummy. She's also just so sweet with other horses. I think she will be a great mum, but I think she'll also breed very exciting, nice foals. So that is the Wilma update, guys. Sorry it's taken so long, but there really wasn't a way of kind of giving you guys any more information. It's been a bit of a waiting game, and yeah, today, as difficult as it is to kind of have it all in writing and like actually draw that line underneath her, I think it has helped. I do feel like I've got that little bit of closure now, and yeah, we can move on. And to be honest, with how disastrous it was, like soon after the fall, when we thought there was potential we were going to lose her, I just feel really grateful that she's still in our field. She's still very happy. She still wickers to us every morning. She still comes in, has her breakfast, has her brush. We still play with her hair, which she loves. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, no, it's not what we planned, but she's still here. She's still happy, and really, that is all that we can ask for at the end of the day. So hope you appreciate the update, guys, and yeah, fingers crossed next year we'll have some exciting news, and we'll be, well, I'm actually gonna start looking for stallions now, just because it gives me something to do, and it gives me that little bit of excitement and buzz again. And yeah, fingers crossed, all being well, we will inseminate her next year and have a 2027 foal. That's crazy. That seems like miles away now. Alrighty, guys, I live, laugh, love you. Thank you for being so wonderful and so lovely and so supportive. I do genuinely appreciate it. It's been, although like I know you guys asking for updates has sometimes, I said, it's been a lot. I also do just really appreciate how invested you are and how much you guys want her to be okay as well. It does mean a lot, and she is okay. She is okay. Right, guys, I live, laugh, love you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.